Okay, here is another story that's going to be on a record. And this is what a record looks like. So, let's start. If you hear little scratchy noises, that's the way it used to sound when you played things on records. So let's begin. Here we go.
Me and your... This is the story of David and Goliath. You can read along with me in your book. You will know it is time to turn the page when you hear David play his harp, like this. Let's begin now. Long ago there lived a young shepherd boy named David. He was gentle and wise and brave. He spent his time singing and guarding his father's flock of sheep. In David's time, there also lived a great giant called Goliath of Gath. Goliath was fierce and terrible. He was a mighty warrior who was feared throughout the land. Goliath the giant was very big and strong indeed. He wore a helmet of gleaming brass upon his head and a coat of heavy mail upon his body. The head of his spear weighed over 15 pounds. And wherever Goliath went, someone always went before him, carrying Goliath's shield. The Philistines, who did not believe in God, had set up a camp high on a mountaintop. There were many great warriors in the Philistine camp, but the greatest of all was their champion, Goliath of Gath. Down in the valley, the Israelites had set up their camp. The Israelites did believe in God, and they were willing to defend their belief, even though the Philistine warriors were much bigger and stronger. But alas, the Israelites had no champion. Every morning and every evening for 40 long days, the giant came out and called,
"Why don't you send someone to fight me?"
But there was no one to send who was big enough or strong enough to fight Goliath. Now, in a town called Bethlehem, there lived a man named Jesse, who had 8 sons. The 3 eldest sons had gone to the camp of the Israelites to help in the fight against the Philistines. David, who was the youngest son, had to stay at home. His job was to feed his father's sheep in Bethlehem.
I protect my little flock, keep you from all harm. I will chase the beasts away, make you safe and warm. I am with you, I will be your shepherd in the field. I will watch and guard you all, I will be your shield. God protects his little flock, keeps us from all harm. He will chase the beasts away, make us safe and warm. God is with us, he will be our shepherd in the field. He will watch and guard us all, he will be our shield.
One day, Jesse said to David,
"Take this corn and these 10 loaves of bread to your brothers, and take these 10 cheeses to the captain of their army. See how your brothers are, and bring me news of the battle."
David got up early the next morning and left the sheep with a keeper. He took the corn, the 10 loaves of bread, and the 10 cheeses and went to the Israelite camp, as his father, Jesse, had asked him to do. When he got there, a battle between the two armies was about to begin. Quickly, David ran to where the warriors were lined up, ready for battle. He saw his brothers and greeted them. Just then, the giant Goliath came out again.
Choose a man to fight me. If he fights with me and kills me, we will be your servants. But if I kill him, then you will be our servants.
The Israelite warriors had no champion to fight Goliath for them, so they were very afraid.
Just look at him. Look at his great size and strength.
David saw how all the men of Israel fled when they saw Goliath. Then David asked,
What shall be done for the man who kills this Philistine?
The warriors answered,
The man who kills Goliath will be given great riches by Saul, the king of the Israelites.
Oh, it's time to turn the record over. You have to go from this side to this side. So just one moment. Now we'll turn it over. There we go.
David's oldest brother was angry at David's question.
Why did you come here? Did you leave the sheep alone in the wilderness? You are being naughty. You came here just to watch the battle.
He glared at David. David's other brothers were angry too. David paid no attention to his brothers, but continued asking questions about the giant Goliath. When King Saul heard about David, he had the boy brought to him. Why are you interested in this giant, David? You are but a boy, and he is a mighty warrior. David said to Saul,
Once, when I kept my father's sheep, there came a lion and a bear. They took a lamb from the flock I was tending. I went after the lion, I struck him and took the lamb out of his mouth. And when he rose up against me, I seized him and hit him again and killed him. I did the same thing with the bear, and so will I do with this Philistine, this giant, Goliath of Gath, for he has defied the armies of God. The Lord delivered me from the paw of the lion and from the paw of the bear. He will deliver me from the Philistine.
Saul was very impressed with David's courage. Go, and the Lord be with you. Saul put his own kingly armor on David. He put his own brass helmet on David's head, and he put his own coat of mail on David's back. Then Saul gave David his own sword. But David said,
I cannot go to battle wearing these. I am not used to them.
So David took off Saul's kingly armor and picked up his own shepherd's staff. He carefully chose 5 smooth stones from the brook and put them in his shepherd's bag. Then he took his sling in his hand and went to face the mighty Goliath.
God will protect me and keep me. God will walk with me onto this field. I have more than armor, more than weapons. God will be my sword and my shield. He will be my God and I his servant. What can harm me if my Lord is near? God is my shepherd, I go with him. the father of my fathers. He was with me while I watched my sheep. God will help me on this field of battle. I give my life for my Lord God to keep. He will be my God and I his servant. What can harm me if my Lord be near? God is my shepherd, I go with him. I will never falter, never fear.
When Goliath saw that his enemy was only a boy, he laughed scornfully.
Ha! Am I a dog that you think you can beat with a stick?
David said,
You fight with a sword and a spear and a shield. I fight in the name of the Lord. God will deliver you into my hand this day.
Hearing this, Goliath went to meet David, and David went to meet the giant. David took a stone out of his shepherd's bag. Whirling the stone in his sling, he hurled the stone at Goliath and hit him in the middle of his forehead. The great giant fell dead on the ground. When the Philistines saw that their champion was defeated, they turned and fled in panic. The Israelites had a great victory that day. So, that is how the shepherd boy David killed the great Goliath and saved his country. Not with armor and a sword, but with a sling and a stone and the strength of God.
The end.